Hello everyone and welcome. Today we dive into the story of one of the greatest movie franchises of all time, Fast and Furious. From its humble beginnings on the streets of Los Angeles to becoming a global phenomenon, this saga has captured hearts, broken records, and created a family that extends beyond the screen. We'll celebrate the legacy of Paul Walker, explore the journey so far, and look ahead to what the future may hold for Fast and Furious. Paul Walker, a name that echoes through Hollywood, the car world, and the hearts of millions. More than just an actor, he was a son, a father, a friend, and a man who lived life with passion. Paul William Walker IV was born on September 12, 1973 in Glendale, California. From a young age he was drawn to the ocean, adventure, and the thrill of speed. Before Hollywood knew his name, Paul appeared in commercials and small TV roles, slowly building his path towards stardom. In 2001, Paul's life changed forever. He landed the role of Brian O'Connor in The Fast and the Furious. As an undercover cop who infiltrated the street racing world, Paul brought charm, heart, and authenticity to the role. His chemistry with Vin Diesel, who played Dominic Toretto, became the emotional backbone of the series. What started as a street racing thriller quickly evolved into one of the biggest film franchises in history. Paul starred in Too Fast, Too Furious, 2003, where Brian teamed up with childhood friend Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese Gibson. The movie deepened the bond between Brian and his crew and cemented Paul's place as a fan favorite. After stepping away for Tokyo Drift, 2006, Paul returned for Fast and Furious, 2009, reuniting with Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, and Jordana Brewster. The family was back together, and the saga truly began to grow. In Fast 5, 2011, Paul's character helped transform the series from street racing to high-octane heist action, with Brian O'Connor now a husband and soon-to-be father. Fast and Furious 6, 2013, pushed the stakes even higher, as Brian balanced his loyalty to family with his duty as a lawman. Off-screen, Paul was humble and down-to-earth. He loved surfing, marine biology, and most of all, helping people. He founded Reach Out Worldwide, a non-profit that delivered aid to disaster-stricken areas. To his friends and fans, Paul wasn't just a star, he was family. On November 30th, 2013, tragedy struck. Paul was attending a charity event for Reach Out Worldwide when he took a short drive in a Porsche Carrera GT with his friend Roger Rodas. Moments later, the car crashed and burst into flames. Both men lost their lives instantly. Paul was just 40 years old. The world was in shock. Hollywood, his fans, and most of all, his Fast and Furious family were heartbroken. A brother was gone too soon. But his story didn't end there. The cast and crew poured their grief into finishing Furious 7. Using Paul's brothers and advanced effects, they completed Brian O'Connor's journey. The final scene, a quiet goodbye between Dominic Toretto and Brian O'Connor, was more than just part of a film. It was a farewell to a real-life brother. Audiences around the world cried as they watched two cars drive down separate roads, a symbol of love, loss, and eternal memory. Today, Paul's legacy lives on. His charity continues to help those in need. His daughter, Meadow Walker, keeps his memory alive. His friends, Vin Diesel, Tyrese Gibson, Michelle Rodriguez, Ludacris, and the rest of the cast, still honor him in interviews, red carpets, and personal moments. Even new Fast and Furious films still carry his spirit, often mentioning Brian as though he is still out there, part of the family. Paul Walker once said, "If one day speed kills me, do not cry because I was smiling." The Fast and Furious franchise has grown from a story about underground street racing in Los Angeles to one of the biggest action sagas in film history. What started in 2001 as a small-budget film became a global phenomenon, crossing borders, cultures, and generations. At its heart, it was never just about cars. It was about family. Paul Walker's Brian O'Connor and Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto formed the foundation of that family. Their brotherhood carried the story from the streets to international heists, and from drag races to missions that defy gravity itself. Even though Paul Walker passed away in 2013, his character Brian is still remembered as the soul of the saga. His presence has never been forgotten, and his legacy continues to influence every film that followed. As the franchise moves forward, the future looks both exciting and uncertain. Fast X has set the stage for the grand finale. Vin Diesel has confirmed that the story will conclude across multiple parts, promising the most emotional and action-packed chapters yet. The stakes are higher than ever, with enemies from the past returning, new allies joining the family, and action sequences designed to top everything we've seen before. But beyond the explosions and car stunts, fans are asking deeper questions. What will become of the family after Dominic Toretto's final ride? Will Brian O'Connor's story come full circle? Some believe that technology might allow Brian to return in a respectful way, honoring Paul Walker without replacing him. Others hope the focus will shift to the next generation, perhaps Brian and Mia's son, or even a new character inspired by Paul's real-life daughter, Meadow Walker. There is also room for spin-offs and new directions. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw proved that the universe can expand beyond the main crew. The future could bring stories about Tej and Roman, Letty's past, or even entirely new families of racers and heroes across the globe. Music, trends, and global culture have always been tied to the series. So it's likely that the next era of Fast and Furious will continue blending high-speed action with the rhythms and styles that define each generation. What makes the future of this franchise so powerful is the balance between legacy and innovation. The original cast built a foundation that fans will never forget, and the new chapters must honor that while still creating fresh stories. As long as the theme of family remains at the center, Fast and Furious will continue to resonate with audiences. In the end, Fast and Furious is more than just a movie series. It's a story about loyalty, sacrifice, and love. Paul Walker once said, "If one day speed kills me, do not cry because I was smiling." His smile still shines through the franchise today, and his spirit ensures that the family's journey is never truly over. The road ahead is open, and the ride continues. The future of Fast and Furious will not just be about how it ends, it will be about how its legacy inspires the next generation. He left this world doing what he loved, and though he is gone, his smile, his passion, and his heart will never be forgotten. Paul Walker, forever part of Fast and Furious, forever in our hearts. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the past, present, and future of Fast and Furious. The story has always been about more than cars and action. It's about family, loyalty, and legacy. Paul Walker's spirit continues to live on, and as the franchise moves toward its finale, his memory reminds us what this story has always been about. To everyone watching, thank you for being part of this family. Fast forever, family forever.